You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Where do I come from?
It seems like you have a little problem understanding the English language.
The only way a guy like you gets a set of nuts is by buying them at the concession stand.
I will eat his carcass in front of his little gazelle friends.
He's like a jar of mayonnaise with eyeballs and a ketchup haircut.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty!
Son of a bitch.
Wow, man, freaked out!
Get your fucking shit together, my God!
And I'm living now, yeah!
I want to know what's going on, and I want to know right now.
It's like the most important man in the world standing here, and you got a conversation going with each other.
I would like to just get to know you.
The great one says you can kiss his ass.
Nice to meet you. What's going on?
I wish horrible flesh-eating disease on you and your family. But not a disease where you die. A disease where you have to walk the earth and you sort of...
Listen to me very carefully.
Whatever your name is, get ready for a big surprise.
Listen to me very carefully.
I am insane. Maybe I am insane. And maybe it's time for you to find out how insane I am. Yeah!
We're not here to take us. We're here to take over.
Yo, what up, doe? How y'all doing? Scrappy the Belt Guy here. I hope you guys are ready. Plenty to get into. More debauchery in the wrestling game, even in the belt game at this point. And that's how wonderful how the music died. But, regardless, Belters unite! Yo, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Like I said, Scrappy the Belt Guy here. Welcome to the BCU Belt Collectors Unite Cast live on Studio 57 Radio. You can check us on the radio YouTube page. You go to studio57radio.com or any place where you get your podcasts from. We're broadcasting live on Twitch for time for this show. So if you're a Twitch fan, go ahead and get in there. There's lots of media where you can have your thoughts and opinions heard. So feel free to get in on that. But if you want to make sure that I get them and get them on the show, the text line is where it's at, 313-307-5340. Let's just get that right out of the way and up there for you right here, right now. Hope y'all are living safe, well, healthy, and happy in these crazy times. Oh, man, before we get into some of the stuff we got going on here in the belt hobby, there is a lot going on in the wrestling world, and it's pretty wild, and most of the stuff is really outside the ring. Like what you're seeing on screen and in the ring, the product that's given is really just been good in my opinion. I don't know, we'll see how you guys feel. I'd love to hear from you, but there seems to be all kinds of debauchery kind of going on outside the ring as well. Of course, the speaking out movement is kind of trying to be suppressed, it looks like, by the wrestling, I don't want to say the industry, but like it really feels like a lot of the movements that we've been working for social in recent times, and we'll keep it to wrestling, but seems to be kind of being pushed aside or discredited in any shape or form or fashion. And that's really never a way to get things done. Now, you can have a conversation about who deserves to be discredited or not. And that's pretty simple for me. If you ever lived something yourself enough to where you could truly understand it, that you should probably, your statements as an opinion piece of where you need educated from. So like, for instance, I've never been a female. I've never had to deal with the especially in a male-dominated industry like pro wrestling. I've never had to deal with something that, that's a lot of these women have had to deal with. So for me to speak on it and kind of, invalidate their, or say anything to kind of counteract or invalidate their feelings, thoughts, or ideas on the subject, I have no place to say. So, it would be, and everyone's right to be mad at me for saying, oh, it's not that bad. What are you talking about? When I've never lived it and I would never know. So, I discredit myself by saying things like that. So a lot of that kind of going on in wrestling right now. That my hope is that in wrestling, and in society, really, that we find a way to come together and understand things better. But people just don't want to do that. So, you're seeing it right now. Right now, Velveteen Dream, who was really a big part of the calling out movement, so to speak, the speaking out movement. He was really at the kind of like at the epicenter of that when it comes to mainstream pro wrestlers, and if that makes even any sense, it's kind of an oxymoron. And now he's back on TV. It's kind of like no big deal. People seem to be kind of pushing it away like it didn't happen, or maybe there's not enough evidence or whatever. I feel like cats have been punted and have had way more things that turned out not to be true as to this situation, which we don't know is true yet. So, but it hasn't been vetted. It hasn't been worked out yet. So we don't know. And so you err on the side of caution typically on those and keep guys like that off television. That's not what the WWE's chose to do. And I think there's going to be some backlash there for him because of it. Now, I don't know that for sure, but I feel like there almost should be. It isn't. So we'll see how that kind of plays out as the weeks go forward. But like all this stuff is not really a surprise to me, and I don't want to say that I know what's going on in pro wrestling in that level, on the industry level. I've never been a worker. I've always kind of been on the sidelines, whether it be a belt maker or just kind of helping the guys out or doing other stuff. It's like, for instance, just whatever, helping the guys set up and break down and move stuff. I don't really do much of anything. I try to be friendly with the guys, hook them up with gear if they need stuff and whatever, stuff like that. But I'm not in the industry, so I don't know, so I don't know, the ins and outs of every single company and how things are done when you go to different places. Who's notorious for this, that, or the other? I don't really know. So I'm trying to educate and learn. And so I think we're going to see a lot of that. You see this stuff start coming out over time, but it kind of bothers me that nothing is really been addressed when it comes to these kind of situations. So I would really like to see. You need it from one of the major companies. An indie company is not going to, even if they stay up and do what's right and address situations and attempt to kind of blackball some of these negative, horrible, granted, just few individuals, in the business doing horrible things. I don't know if that's impactful enough to really stop what seems to be a pretty widespread problem in pro wrestling. So, and you know what, guys? I say pro wrestling because we're here talking about wrestling belts and everything that goes with the belts in the hobby, and we're going to get into that because we're going to go through the emails from Legends Belts and my interactions with them. You can see why you may you'll be able to see what's up with them. So we're going to do that a little bit later in the show. I'll be able to actually see the emails, so it won't be just me reading them. You'll actually be able to look and read for yourself, so I'm not just kind of skewing things in my favor, I guess. I don't know. So we're going to have all that for you too. But, the industry, there is no belt collecting if these industries aren't up and going and moving and working. And so this is a part of it. So I'm kind of curious how it's going to be handled, but I am worried that, without a company, with a company like, WWE and AEW are obviously the two biggest fish in the pond right now. Obviously WWE being the biggest company in the history of professional wrestling. I really think that they should be the ones being forefront of this when I don't feel that they are. WWE has continued to disappoint me turn after turn. I have said here publicly that I probably get rid of the network after SummerSlam. depending on what they do. But now I've gotten to the point now where it's like their business practices and all the crazy stuff that they got going on the outside and how they handle it or lack thereof. I almost feel like obligated not to financially support a company like that. So I don't know. I mean, that's a horrible thing to say. And because we wrestling, especially WWE, to succeed, for this thing to continue to be around and go and all that. So, but I'm conflicted with how to handle all that from a moral standpoint, I guess, and then from entertainment. From an entertainment standpoint, it hasn't been doing it for me, and maybe that's why these other things that are going on outside the world, outside of the creative universe of pro wrestling, is actually bothering me more now or standing out more now, because the product inside the bowl has not been good. I mean, to be quite frank, in my opinion, I don't know how you guys are feeling about what out there, but a lot of that stuff, a lot of the angles, a lot of the way they've been, it's not even entertaining. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I did get some WWE in, and I did get some pro wrestling in, and I did check out some highlights so I could be ready for conversation that we may have here show. But beyond that, I've not been interested and I don't know on how boring wrestling has become to me just recently with the, just the way that the product's been portrayed or displayed, or however you want to look at it. I just, or if I really just, mainstream sports are getting that good. Mainstream sports are bad mix, and I'm a sports nut. I like watching sports, and though the product has not been great in regular sports, whether it be NBA or NHL or MLB, it has still been to me way more entertaining. Now, I don't know if I'm so caught up in the fact that we've got sports and it's been exciting. The play hasn't been great, and then you have pro wrestling, which is my MMA and pro wrestling, and it just hasn't been that. Now, MMA, we've had some really good fights, but spending $50 on a pay-per-view is hard to do each and every month. So, Mike just got. I'm sorry, Mike. Toronto Mike's not going to be able to join us right now at the moment, so hopefully you'll be able to come back and catch the end of the show. But thanks for checking in there, Canada Mike. I appreciate you. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that, I don't know if it's been just that the regular sports have been just that so amazing that I've been compelled to watch that, or if my other go-to wrestling and MMA just haven't been as exciting in contrast. And you're like you don't like and what you see going on in pro wrestling. We can talk a little WWE, we can talk a little NXT, we can talk a little bit of AEW. But and that's where I'm going to kind of go now. So I just put it out there, just a little subject of conversation. If you want to get in on that conversation, want to have that conversation, we can have it here in the text line, on the social media, wherever you want to do it. I'd love to hear from you on that. But we're going to kind of shift gears over to AEW, which once again, guys, I just feel like there's great matches with tons of great spots. There's been very little storytelling or psychology involved in most of the matches that you're seeing. So I'm just not as hip to the product as I was. I believe that it's a little bit better than the WWE product from an entertainment standpoint, not necessarily a production standpoint. All that being said, COVID cases are going rampant in WWE. They've had to change scheduling for taping and all this other stuff because of more cases and things like that. So I'm just hoping that whatever pro wrestling does, that they kind of give us a good entertaining product and kind of bring it back, because all the stuff we've been seeing. I mean, that eye for an eye stuff, you can keep that shit. That Riz Kid Dominic with the stick, you can keep that. That just doesn't do it for me. There's just been a lot of stuff outside the ring. It's been wild too. We'll get into the Sonya Deville story a little bit later. I didn't read into it, but that's some crazy shit, and get some details on. So all that stuff is, but we'll shift over. AEW has got figurines and toys and merch and kinds of fun stuff out there, and y'all have been eating it up like crackheads out here, man. Like, you can't go anywhere and find any product. They're loving it. They're loving it off the shelf. The merch is like gone. I see you guys posting, looking for figurines. It's like, and I'm thinking, man, these kids out here can't compete with these adults that are out here yanking them off the shelf so quickly. It's been a real wild ride in respect to that. Have you guys found what you're looking for? Have you been running into things? Did you find a gold mine? Yes or no? I do have a friend on social media who did find a stand where they had like the AEW stand with all the swag in it, and the UFC fighters. I'd like to get some of those UFC guys because I got a WEC belt here, and some of those guys held that belt, and that'd be kind of cool to display. So I get why you guys are figurines. I'm not knocking that. So let that real fucking clear. The show's about collecting and collectors, and those things are a collector's item, in my opinion. Just like a lot of those horror movie figurines and things like that, like the McFarlane stuff. So that is the hobby, and that's part of this hobby, in my opinion. So this is fair game. Hey Joe, hey Jay, hey Mike, thanks for chiming, hanging out with me. So I saw one of my friends on social media, not like somebody I'm real like hang out with, on social media, showing, and everybody's doing it, showing pictures of empty racks, and they can't find it or whatever. So I found one, and it was a whole display. The C guys that were supposed to be on the bottom, and the AEW guys on the top, and they had a little slot for like the AEW championship belts and all that stuff, all on this big huge display. And the whole fucking display it's been ravaged. It's empty, and I look close, and there's only, and it's not ravaged totally. You can see these perfectly lined rows of figurines still in there, and I'm thinking, well, you guys got some figurines, and I look, and they're all Cody's. That's gotta suck when you're one of the top guys in the company, or considered the top guy, and you're a VP or EP or whatever the hell he does there. And you're not quite as over as you would like to think you are with your merch sitting on the shelves. But that being said, the AEW stuff is hot, and in cases I've seen, obviously is going as well. So with that in mind, this weekend I was because I've got property up north in a small town here in Michigan, and I had some issues up there with the property I had to take care of kind of last minute. So I'll go up there to handle some stuff, and I get done. It's evening time. I'm going to unwind and grab some food and relax. And so I go into town to get some McDonald's, get some nasty, greasy garbage for my gut. And the Walmart's right there, and I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I'm not getting McDonald's greasy garbage for my gut. I'm going to go into the Walmart. I'm going to get some food, and so I got a little bit more to get me to the next day or whatever. I'm not just buying some greasy, nasty dinner for that moment that night. So I go in there, and I get a few things that I needed. I get some soda, and I get some apples, and I get some, some meats and cheeses and stuff, and a couple little things, and I'm gonna go home and eat. And I'm thinking, oh wait, this is Walmart. Walmart carries that AEW stuff. I'm in a small little town. So maybe there's a chance I'll find something, and it's not like I have to buy anything, to be honest with you. There's like maybe 2 AEW figurines that I would want, and they're not in a series that's released yet, so I won't be able to even shop for those until October if they're available. Even then, I doubt that they will be. Based on, so I thought, oh, I'll go here, and if I see some, I'll post a picture. I'll be like, hey, jealous guys, there's figures here. There wasn't a goddamn thing in there, like not a damn thing. Even the WWE stuff was ripped through, man. There was like a handful of Undertakers and AJ Styles gear and stuff, and they have all like, but then nothing. Like the AEW stuff was gone. I found one AEW toy championship belt with a big wad of gum stuck in it, and I'm like, well, that's all I had, and empty racks everywhere. So that shit is gone everywhere. And I'm gonna tell you, if you filled those racks up, there isn't enough people in that small town to buy all of those figurines. So I don't know if this is the case, but I'm willing to bet that they're creating a false supply and demand with trickling out this supply of you guys are eating it up, but they know you are, and they're putting out just enough that you clear the shelves and not so much more. It kind of raises the demand up. And then once they get all the different series out, they get everything, all of it out, it'll be in time for Christmas, and then miraculously, all that stuff will be available to you. Do you think that for the holiday season, that they're going to allow shelves to be empty with none of their product on it, with that kind of demand for it? No. They're creating a false demand by keeping the stuff off the shelves now. It's the same thing a lot of these video game developers did back in the day with like PlayStation and the subsequent releases, where they would kind of like falsely create this high demand by just keeping the supply low. And so that became a thing with like PlayStation 3 until a certain breaking point, which was ironically right near the holidays when all of a sudden, bam, you could get them everywhere. But because you couldn't before, everybody was rushing to get them and willing to pay a crazy rate, not realizing that in 3 months that price is going to drop down, or not caring. I shouldn't say not realizing, just not caring. They just want it that bad. I feel that this is the same kind of technique that they're using here. Is it working on you? I know it would for me. I ain't gonna lie. If it was something that I really wanted and they weren't keeping the supply up to meet the demand, I would be that guy, you know. So I'm not mad at you for any of that stuff. Get it? 313-307-5340. We're talking about unnamed texter says the 4 Walmarts in my neighborhood, state, area, whatever you want to say, and there is nothing. Well, that's a lot. So you're going from location to location like the old days and driving around randomly. Phone call could save you a trip at a lot of because they're glad to see the shit's empty. The key is to talk to somebody, find out when supposedly a next shipment would land, and then bring your happy ass that day. But that's not always like a feasible option. That's not all. You can't always necessarily get the right information or accurate information, or maybe they don't even know. But I would start there. So. But I mean, I'm just amazed because I know WWE well as far as merchandise. They sell a ton of stuff, but I've noticed that obviously they keep the supply up. You know, usually you can find what you need in the store in most cases. The WWE product, the way you look at it is doing better in the ratings. It's more popular. It's always pushed more numbers in merch, whether it be figurines, clothes, titles, whatever. Now AEW doesn't have like a replica title market yet. They will soon once that they can get them produced. Those things will fly. They will fly. Especially that heavyweight title will fly off the shelf. But right now, you know, AEW reality, unless you're breaking down demographics, for the most part, is not more popular. At least they're shipping in merchandise sales as WWE. That's going to change. I feel it's very close, and that there's a tipping point with that. But in the current moment, that's what it is, and it has been up to this point. But like I said, I believe that will change. That being said, it's miraculous that that stuff is not flying off the shelves, or there's enough supply to meet the demand there, but not with the AEW products. So that's what leads me to believe that they're regulating the flow of how much stuff's going to location and when it's getting there to kind of create this false, you know, sense of need and want for something or demand that really isn't there yet. Because if you look at it, they released like I think 5 figurines in the 5 or 6 in the first set. One of them Brandy, the other one's Cody, another one's Cody. Those are not over as far as merch sales. I don't believe that they will sell as much as some of the other guys. And then once you start getting the brothers and some of these real popular guys that come out, their figurine to come out, it's going to be those will be even harder to get, I would imagine. So I just feel that there's like a faux supply and demand. A bill checks in, no figurines but titles everywhere. Yeah, well, hey, there you go. I mean, at least you got something. There's some product there. But it really seems like that they're kind of creating this thing. And really, when you break down business, it's pretty smart. I mean, you know, if you can keep a demand up and you can keep that pent-up demand all the way through to the holiday season, to that November, December season, and then just flow all your product out at once and have everything out. I think that's another reason why they're doing this in phases as far as releasing all their figurines. I think that it's brilliant strategy. When the holiday season comes, everybody's going to go nuts and try to get it because it's there and it'll be like the new Elmo kind of thing. So I think it's brilliant strategy. Is it a conspiracy? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. But I really think that that's a thing. So, but that being said, I did get some finds. I did come across a couple of nice finds that I think will be projects, something that we can do in the shop here and video and air and put on the show. So look forward to that a little bit more here in the future as I get to it. So, but that's just my, my little something on something. So there you go. Now back to the belt collection hobby. We talked about this stuff, guys. It's fucking amazing. And I wanted to show this stuff, and I guess I don't know. I guess I didn't put the picture in, but here we go. Back to the fuckery of the hobby. So last week was it last week that I had mentioned on air that there's lots of these groups out here that kind of house scammers, where they and even just kind of general assholes, which that whatever, who cares about general assholes, no big deal. The scammers is the real issue. So when you see a group where the scammer people know that they're in there, but the admins don't remove them, be careful of those groups. And you guys were asking me specifically in messaging and text and things, which groups are you talking about? What do I need to look out for? So over the weeks, I kept telling you, this is what you need to look for. This is what's going on. So then I realized that that's not working because we're still falling same scams by the same people. So then I decided, okay, well, I'm just going to call out some of these groups and places that you need to be careful of. And I had met a group in specifically a couple of groups, and miraculously, their admin is the same guy, and by the time the fucking podcast was over, I was booted from the group. A group whose mantra is that people that have had problems in other groups have a second chance here in this group, and a group where the moderator had openly said that he didn't like the meanness, the haters, and all that other stuff, but did nothing about it. And the same thing with the scammers, and kind of, what could we even do about scammers here in the group to help? And I had made a comment, well, a scam list would be a good start. They have those in other groups. And so, of course, that just brought light on me. This very group, the mods in the group are very aware of doing the podcast here and the idea behind the podcast. They poo-poo the whole idea of the podcast. Then when the podcast premiered, they acted like they didn't watch the podcast and tried to come up with a podcast that was essentially what we're doing here. And then once again, they're not watching the podcast and they don't know about the podcast, but they still booted my ass out of what I said. But any haters, they didn't boot or expose any scammers, and they just silenced me while they could as far as their group was concerned. It's kind of funny. It really just backs up it really just emboldens me to understand and know that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing, and I'm not even to say, hey, dude, that's how it is, man. Like, why do you think that? What can we, and have a conversation with me about it. They didn't even say, dude, you're batshit crazy. Get the fuck out of here. They didn't even do that. They just quietly booted me from the group. And they didn't just kick me out of the group. They banned me to a point where I can't even see that the group exists anymore. And I'm gone. Both of the groups, ironically, run by the same admin. So it makes me laugh because don't be in the group to know what's going on, dude. Because of the nature of what we do, this podcast, people come to me. And I forgot to upload the picture. So our buddy so much said from the thing after the podcast, I've received 300-400 friend requests. You guys have found me on a level and came to my page and requested. I had one was like 120, another day like 145, another day was like 170, and you guys wanted to get in on it. So I will implore you guys or whatever, go to the Studio 57 page and like that and go, because I can't put all of you on my personal page as much as I want. So I will weed through there and I'll get many of you guys on there as I can, as I get other people off that don't deserve on there. But you might have to wait a little bit if you put in a request and I haven't gotten to you. But once again, proof positive that we're on the right track, doing the right thing and for the right stuff. So yeah, it's silly. It's funny. And I don't know what to say. You guys kind of expose yourself when you do things like that. And so, yeah, just be careful when you're in Gold Rush or Brothers of the Belt, that it's not as it says. So, Eddie Williams is another guy that, middleman for me and Belt. Another guy that knew about my podcast a long time ago, didn't want to hear about it. Is also a podcast group, is also in cahoots with the admin, and is also a middleman who marks things up for his own benefit and does nothing to help you. And the reason I know he does that is when I started my company, J Dub Belts, and I put out our signature style of belts, and we were doing our thing, he came looking for a bulk discount so that he could mark them up even more than I charge and sell them to other people. And I was like, well, why would you do that? Why would you not, if you believe in the product, you like the product, you think it's good, why would you not just refer them to come over this way? And then, and maybe I'll give you a point system, and then you can earn something if you get enough, Like, I was trying to be cool and trying to offer something that I wouldn't normally do because I already give everybody the best possible deal. I'm like a 10-year-old Duran kid in a fucking Nike sweatshop. I'm lucky if I make 5 cents an hour putting these belts out for people. So there's not a whole lot more I could do for him, but his whole gimmick was to essentially rip off people that want my product, because you can get it for more affordable for me, and there's no hassle. Now he didn't follow through because there was nothing I was going to do for him, and now all of a sudden, he had no use for me, so now we're not friends, and he blocked it, and now he's over to doing his middleman stuff, which he's been doing with other companies and whatever with me, and now he's doing the podcast and all that. So, like I said, it's a dirty game, y'all. It's a dirty game, and it sounds booted and after this podcast, we'll probably get called out and ridiculed because they feel that I can't see or hear what's going on when that's really not factually true, because people will be glad to give me that stuff without me eliciting or asking for it. It's just the way it is. I could show you the inbox, but I would never put people out like that. I'd never snitch somebody out who wanted me information to help with the podcast. So it's like having a source, ratting them out. I would never rat out my sources. So it's wild. It's a wild place. So just be careful when you're in those groups. You don't have to go to the BCU group, but it's not a bad idea to go in there and check out the scam list. There's other groups that have scam lists, whether it be for makers or middlemen or just general, people in the hobby. So, look into that stuff, and if there's a red flag or it's too good to be true or it makes you feel uneasy, follow that instinct. Don't worry about it. There's no shame in being over skeptical and being wrong about it than to be under skeptical and being wrong about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just to protect yourself. That's the way you should kind of address it. So, once again, I will go through and I'll show you some of the emails from Eddie Williams, and it's Eddie and Ira Williams, which is a shared profile name, which I always found weird. It's hard to trust somebody who shares a profile with their wife because it just feels like maybe she doesn't trust them either, or they'd have their own separate profiles. Just my opinion. I don't really know that. A lot of people just do group like that because the other one doesn't get into it that much, but they want to be able to communicate with family or whatever, and I get all that. So I don't want to make it I don't stereotype it, but it's kind of like if my dog doesn't like somebody, I probably shouldn't trust them. That's what this kind of feels like to me, in that same respect. When but guys, be careful, protect yourself. There's lots and lots of scammers. So we've been trying to expose them. We've been trying to get into it with makers and just see who's on the up and up. Now, the scammers on the individual level are so hard to keep up with. It's a tougher one. I said there's a lot of these guys that just keep researching, and it's like nothing ever happened. And you almost have to be in cahoots with an admin of a group to scam over and over again and still be allowed in the group. That's my opinion. I don't know the fact that they're a negligent admin in the group or moderators or whatever, but it's hard for me to kind of believe, so that there isn't some kind of, at the very least, accomplice after the fact kind of action with that. But just my opinion. It's a feeling. It's not. I don't want you to take this as like I'm spitting this out of fact. This particular statement. It's just the way I feel, and it makes sense to me in my little pea brain. So that's how I rationalize shit. But the belt makers themselves, they're trying to themselves known or whatever. They're trying to lure victims in, so they have to have all these different things going on to do. So they're a little bit easier to identify, and go and be able to do it in a manner where it's effective and helpful for all of us in the hobby. So we've been doing that. So we've done lots of different and we're going to continue to do that. There's a belt right here. You see our custom belt with our studio logo on there. That's by Pro-Am Belts. So next week we'll review that, and we'll talk about our experience with that company. Okay, you've seen us go after what was at the time probably the most notorious makers in the hobby at that moment was Bingo Fashions, and then we've proven that they put out a good quality product, that they are trustworthy, and that all that stuff put out there was propaganda put on by cats that are essentially in bed with competitors, and so. That kind of made for like a real bad look. And to know that the truth has been put out there, and then not to retract and say, hey, dude, I'm sorry. I was kind of, from what I could tell, I put it out there and I was wrong. I apologize. And to just hold and hunker down and hold your ground just kind of shows the lack of class. And then to do it again to another belt company like Fondue and other belt companies that have been around for a while in the same format that you didn't go, it just takes your credibility away. And for a guy that is supposed to have a lot of credibility in the hobby in that respect, to me, he's killed it all with 2 videos, and that it's all a racket, it's all a joke to get. It's for him to get over. It has nothing to do with helping you out or doing anything for you or giving back to the hobby. Everything I do is back to the hobby. I've given to the hobby way more than I'll ever take, and it's just the way I do business. So it is what it is. You don't have to necessarily like my views on stuff or agree with that, and I'm cool with that. Like, that's what we have this show for, so we can have this dialogue and have these conversations. And some of us have had these conversations even off the air in the social media and talked about different things. So that's how that's going to work. We're going to continue to give back to the hobby. But being able to expose these cats for what they are, good, bad, or indifferent, is be of that, because other than me making belts at a reasonable price and trying to provide something for people as much as I can, you have there's not much more I can do other than let's see if we can clean this up a little bit. At least arm our peers, our friends, our brothers, as some groups would have you believe, arm them with the knowledge, with the power to be able to protect from scammers that, by all outward appearances look to be, good or whatever, and then you get scammed, or the other way around. So we've proven Bingo to be what they are. And we've moved over to championship belts, a.k.a. legacy belts. I'm dealing with Muhammad over there. Their original Facebook got shut down for whatever reason they can't explain and can't get it back. And instead of creating another one with a name with like a 2 or a page 2 or a second 2, that they're maintaining their branding, and they completely rebranded and changed everything, which leads me to believe there's a reason why that they did that. And it's not going to be it's not going to be like a good thing. So those red flags to me were like all the ones I needed to go in here and look and start getting nosy. And so that's what we've been doing. So I go onto their website and I look on there, and they try to make it look all good and professional and dope and like it was, and it's not bad, but it's not, the most, it's a little bit cumbersome. It's a very cheap, easy website to put up. And which is what you do. I have a very cheap, easy website for mine. You keep it simple, stupid, and all that. So I'm not judging it by that. So, okay, it's all here. All the prices are here. Descriptions are here. Though it looks kind of cheesy and simple and low budget, that's fine. Like, why spend a lot of money with something that's just basically got what you need there information-wise, and you can check out and you can order, and it goes to the email, and he gets it, and he responds back, and it works, right? Well, kind of. So, as you know, we have we decided to purchase 2 belts from them because they have a low end and they have a high end. And so I wanted to get one of each. And then they have some in stock ready to ship. And then they have them where they need to be made, manufactured, and shipped. So that takes time. So those are 2 different things. So in a lot of cases, guys will find they've had good interactions with certain makers because those were things that they had in stock out right away, and you can't complain because you got your product real quick and you're super happy. So you tell everybody how great they are. Meanwhile, most of the people that put in orders, wait way longer than they should. Timelines are messed up. Communication's horrible, and I'm upset and frustrated. And stuff right now, it doesn't really apply. So I want to cut these guys a little bit of slack and put that caveat in there that length of time and all that stuff can get jacked up. When you start talking about timelines and stuff like that, and the pandemic hit in the middle of making all those kind of promises of the timelines, things can get messed up. Things can happen to mess up your timeline even without a pandemic. So definitely with a pandemic, right? So, but the key to all that stuff is honesty and open communication. If you've got that, then people will be all right when it comes to dealing with, timetable issues. Okay, it's the same thing with me. Like, my timetables got blown out of the fucking water with this COVID shit and everything else going on in life, and I'm trying to get it back together, and things are coming, and it will happen. But all my timelines are blown out of the water. But as long as I'm communicate with cats and tell them what's going on and show them stuff, and when I have it, and most people are understanding, even if they don't necessarily have to be. They are, and so I try to be that too. But there's a point in time to where you are, things are out of your control and stuff happens, and then where you're just blatantly bullshitting and not telling the truth. And so that's the kind of stuff that we're going to weed out. So what we're going to do here is I got my emails. So let me get these up. So let me move this over here, see if I can get this to work now, because just before we went on, and that's why I was a minute late, this thing shut down. So I want to add it. Oops, it looks like, ooh, wow, what am I doing here that it's not fly? Okay, yeah, it does look like so. So I got the emails up, and I'll just show you, and you can see the conversation. Now, I kind of hinted to you, told about it, but then see it. We're going to look at it, you're going to see it, you're going to understand, and why you should be really messing with championship belts and Muhammad Hassan. Legacy belts now, I guess. Okay, so here is our email right here. I had ordered you saw the Gift of the Gods championship. We did a review on it. That was their low-end belt, and we picked it apart. We kind of, for what it wasn't bad. We knew it was going to be low end. We knew there's going to be some inconsistencies in what it should look like and what it was, and it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad for the price point. But that's the first one we got. Then we ordered another belt, an IWGP version 4 heavyweight championship, and that had to be manufactured. So on his website, it said that the IWGP were in stock, in that the Gift of the Gods needed to be made. So that's why I did it. They were both low end, high end, and one was ready to go and one was ready to be made. But as you can see in this email, what his website said is not accurate. Gift of the Gods is available in stock, which according to the website, that one needed to be ordered. But the IWGP was not available in stock and needed to be made. Opposite of what his website says. The new belt process timing is 9 to 15 days. But we can immediately ship you Gift of the God now, and then we can send you the IWGP later. Just so you know. That's basically what it says here. With kind of a broken English. New belt order processing timing is 9 to 15 days. We can immediately ship Gift of God, and IWGP V4 will send you later. Just informed you. Best regards, Hassan. So that's verbatim, but you get what he's trying to say with the little bit of English barrier there. It says, okay, cool. I'm going to place that order now. So he did tell me before I made the order that it was not accurate on the. So since he told me before the order, I was cool with it. Place order, which I would do anyway. He says, cool, thanks. Boom. So that is on June 2nd that we had this conversation. So then move forward, and now we're at June 6th. Okay, so I gave him about 4 days to, quote unquote, immediately ship our gift of the gods and get me a tracking before I responded. It's like, well, if you just ship immediately, obviously didn't happen. Let me shoot him a message. So I just said, a few days ago, I ordered 2 belts, the gift of the gods and the IWGP weight. I was told the gift of the gods was ready to be shipped and would be sent right away. I was wondering when to expect the tracking number for my item. Thank you for your time. So it took 2.5 hours. Took 2.5 hours later, and he responded. That back. Yeah, it took 2.5 hours later, and he responded. I will look into this, and I'll get back to you. So the next day, 24 hours later, from my original, as you can see, 24 hours later. So what's the word? Do you have that tracking info for me? Comes back with, hi, sir, we're completely on lockdown on Saturday and Sunday, which I understand. We'll just say, I will update you a tracking number by Monday. Tomorrow you will get an update. The Lucha Gift of the Gods Championship belt, IW4 belt, is on a process to. Looking forward to hearing from you. So I don't know what all that really means, other than I was supposed to hear tomorrow, the next day. Or that he was going to give me the tracking number the next day. So now we're at the 7th. And so the 8th came and went. And I never saw the tracking. Or, well, I shouldn't say it came and went because it's still early. But if you look, it was, I've been dealing with them late in the night because of the time difference. It's 9 hours difference over there. They're 9 hours ahead of us. So then, so I deal with them in the morning here. So, hello. So I reached back and said, hello, hope everybody's safe and well. Just checking in with you. I was told that I would have some tracking information on my gift of the gods and an update on my WGP today. I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. And that's on the 8th. We ordered it on the 2nd, and we're told to be shipped immediately. It is now the 8th, and I have not received any information on whether. And then he says on the 8th that I will update you today. Again, yes, today I will update you. Now it's on the 8th. He's pushed another day. And now, okay, thank you. Now we go to the 9th. Another full 24 hours later, the next day. Hey, man, any news on this? Gift of the God is on its way. Okay, cool. Thank you. Shoot me the tracking info when you get a chance. And then you'll notice, then at that point, I think I got it, and it came. I don't know why I don't see that in the email. Oh, you know why? It's another thread that comes on the website, so it's not in here. So I want to say it was later that day, that Tuesday, so it's on another thread because it goes through his website and comes in. I get other emails through the website instead of directly through him. So I think that's what happened there. So, okay, no problem. So then, and it finally came on the 22nd. This is the day it landed. Okay, so, I want to say it was the 22nd that it landed. I said, I hit him up, said, I hope you're staying well and safe. I understand you guys are going through some periodic lockdowns. Please stay safe, my friend. And when you get a chance, can you shoot me an email about when you might be finished with the IWGP? So this is the 22nd now. So, from the 9th to the 22nd, it's been a couple of weeks. When I ordered it, it was the 2nd. He said 9 to 15 days. We're now at 20 when I sent this email. So I heard nothing. So I mailed on the 24th and said, hey, my gift of the showed up on time. Thank you very much. But I'm still reaching out to you. I was reaching out to you to find out when to expect my IWGP. Thank you very much. So that's the 24th. Wait a few days to the 27th. Hello, I've been trying to get in contact with you for a week. Find out, So let's read this. To find out the status of my order and you not responding. I have seen you're posting on social media and sending advertisement messages to my email, which I've been getting. So he sends me, that's what I'm talking about through the website. But you are not responding to my emails. Why is that? Do I need to post on your social media sites to get a response? Please advise me the best way to get some communication from you. I do not want to initiate a refund from my end, but I will if I don't receive some kind of communication from you. Thank you for your time and stay safe. So it's just one of those things where, you know, if I reach out to you and I'm reaching out to you since the 9th, you never responded after that. And we're at the 22nd and you haven't, I left a message, you didn't respond. The 24th, I leave a message and you didn't respond. The 27th, I'm leaving you a message threatening money. And all of a sudden, 6 minutes later, 9:20 in the morning, 9:26, boom, I get an answer. So that's frustrating that I have to threaten to initiate a refund on my side in order to get you to just communicate with me, because that's all I want is to know what's going on. I understand that things will get out of whack and that you might not be able to have it done. Tell me that you can't. Tell me it's going to be 3 more weeks. Whatever. I'm fine with it. Yes, your version is under process. Please give us time to finish that belt. We must up you with finished product as soon as possible. Best regards. Okay, thank you for the update. I understand it takes time, but good communication is the key to good business. I make belts and do leather work here in the States for us and MMA companies, and I always keep my customers up to date on progress. Even if something happens to cause me to get behind on an order, and I answer every message sent to me the same day in most cases. Very rarely, unless you get my personal page where my messenger is all messed up, because the business page is on Pages. It's its own thing. But the personal messenger can get screwed up. So I always implore people to go through the site, go through through our business page, because that doesn't mess up. It does, but not nearly as much as Messenger. So I'll get to you maybe within an hour as opposed to real like I like to, but I always get to you the same day. So please just keep me posted on progress with my order, and most importantly, stay safe. I look forward to see your work on this amazing piece. Have a great day. Trying to be very nice, but point across. Goes on, says, okay, no problem. So that's June 27th. So we are now 25 days from the start of our 9 to 15 day production, and I've gotten nothing, and he tells me, but he did give me an update after a little bit of strong arming. So I wait 2 more weeks. It gets you to the 10th. And I sent the email in the evening knowing that he's not going to be able to get to it because it's probably really late. And so I had no intentions or expectations that he would get back with me real quick because of the time in his world when I sent it, over on that side of the planet. They're 9 hours ahead. So 6 p.m., they're all sleeping. So hope all is well with you. Just checking on the progress of my order of the IWGB G4. Any updates would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you. Just kind of a general thing I would put out there. Every 2 or 3 weeks, if I don't hear anything at all. That's what you guys should be doing. Something like that. Every weeks, if you're past the date that he had promised you to have done, and you're not getting the greatest of communication, or I haven't heard any communications back. So that is July 10th. So he immediately, within minutes, answered, even though it's super late there, which I was surprised. Yes, maybe tomorrow Monday I will send you ready plates pictures. Oh, well, pictures of my plates being done by Monday, tomorrow or Monday. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. Now that could turn into Friday or the following Monday really quick if something's going on. And I understand that. So, I'm not mad at him. So I said, excellent, thank you very much. He responds with, you're welcome. So 4 days later, now we're on Wednesday. I hope you are staying safe. Just wondering if you had some pictures of those plates. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you very much. Says, yes, I will send them today. And 2 days later, I have received, and that was the 14th, right? Yeah. He answered really quickly now, which is nice. Then, which is weird that late at night that he'd be answering quickly, but not when so then I hit him in the morning, which should be more of his daytime hours. and this is 2 days later. Notice the 14th he sent them today, and now we're on the 16th and I haven't heard anything. And I sent him the pictures. Or I sent him an email. Any pictures yet? No response. The 17th. Hello. Do you have pictures of the IWGP yet? You said I would have them on Monday. It is now Friday and nothing yet. Also, you didn't respond to my last email. So now he waits 3 more days to the 20th. So now we're at... So we ordered on the 2nd of June, 9 to 15 days, and we are at the 20th of July when I finally get this picture here of an unfinished center plate. That's the only picture. It's a little wider. You can see the whole plate, but that's the only picture. That's all it is. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Now, it's the 20th, and it's not finished. But okay, there's some progress. He's obviously making the belt. Cool. I'm cool with that. Not really. I'm starting to get frustrated. But, okay, cool. Thank you. You're welcome. 20th of July. Bam. August 4th now. I'm figuring, okay, give him a couple more weeks. And see, if how close he is, and if he can at least give me a ballpark within a week or two of when he might have it finished. And so I asked him, and it took him quite a few hours to get back to me. And this is what he did. Now, mind you, it says this is our Eid holidays going. We will be back on them again on Monday, and then I will update you pictures and shipping. So this is on August 4th. The Eid holidays are July 31st. It's a Friday. It's 1 day. This is Tuesday, August 4th. It's the Tuesday following the holiday. The holiday's been done and gone for days. And he is now telling me that they are in holidays, even though the holidays are 1 day and are already over. Quite frankly, they were over 5 days before I sent my... I'm not going to get stupid. I'm not going to call him a liar. I want to get my product. Okay, thank you. So now, another 8 days later. Figured I'd just check on him. I mean, he's already bullshitted me. He's already lied to me about the Eid holidays and when shit's going to be ready. Now I'm going to start to turn into a nag. This is 4 days ago. Hello, just checking out that order. I was told you would have some pictures and shipping in for me by Monday. It is now Wednesday, and I haven't heard anything. Here we go. Responded back. It took him a while, 4 or 5 hours. Tomorrow I will update your complete belt picture, and then I will update you regarding shipping within the next 2 to 3 days. And that's true out there, that you have to schedule them to come kind of get it and then get it to the thing so it can get shipped out. It's not something that you can necessarily do really quick. So 2 to 3 days while he tries to get other orders together and try to put a bulk shipment out. That makes sense to me. I'm okay with that. Okay. So then it was the next day that and this is the first time he's done what he said he would do. And he sent me this picture. Now, it shows the belt, and it's not complete. The nameplates that go on the side plates, all the mini small nameplates on the side plates, are missing. And the stones are, and I think that's about it. And it's on leather, so I'm going to assume that the backing isn't done either. I could be wrong. but I don't think I saw any snaps or any of that stuff in the full picture, which is because I think it was cut off, so I don't know how far it would be. And then I'm like, excellent, almost done and looking good. Thank you. Do you know when you plan on shipping? That was the 14th. That was 2 days ago, and we have not heard anything since. So, he did not respond back again to my email, obviously, and so I will wait until tomorrow, and I will try to shoot him another email. But that's it, man. To me, even if this does come through, and it looks like it might, this is somebody that you would ever recommend. In fact, I would tell you to stay far the fuck away. Judging by how the other belt looked, I'm very curious of what this one's going to look like. As I look at in the pictures, it doesn't really. I'm going to have to. What we'll do is we will pull the pictures website and we will compare the belt itself to the pictures on the website and determine whether it's even similar or the same or accurate, along with the description. Plus, we will have the belt here. We will review it. We'll put the micrometer on it, make sure everything is what it says it is, and we will get after it like that if it does land. I'm hoping that it will land in a couple of weeks. And we'll be able to do this, or in time for one of these podcasts in the next couple of weeks. But we will see. So for now, the verdict, though it's not official and it's not in yet, just a legacy championship belts, Muhammad Hassan, whatever. Keep your distance. Just saying. So, guys, I know we went a little long. I got to get up out of here with my long-winded ass. I need to catch a break. I got design work to do. I'm working on your designs as I'm getting all together. We'll have it for you. Hit me up if you have got any questions or if I'm behind on anything. I did get a little bit behind on what I planned on doing this weekend, but I should have it squared. So, anything, just let me know. Just hit me up. If you guys are into real sports and fun sports, DSR2. Not real sports, but mainstream sports. DSR2, Wednesdays at Johnny Loose, back here at Studio 57 Radio. Till next week, I'll see you. Peace. I love y'all. Be good to each other.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.